What is up, y'all? Oh my gosh, who is she? Who even is she? So if you jumped onto this channel in the recent months with me, you've noticed that I was really consistent and then I kind of went MIA. There are a few reasons for that. I'm just gonna be real with you guys. You know how it is. So I'm really thankful that it's been having a really nice growth so far. And thank you for all the encouragement and affirmations that I'm actually providing something of value and helping you guys out, like, you know, all the nice comments and messages. I did have to take a little step back for a while, and the reason for that is I just wanted to make sure that I was in the right headspace. I kind of just had to process the growth of this channel a little bit because I have noticed that there were some kind of gross comments. I know this is the internet. I work in digital marketing full time. I'm very aware. I was kind of just ruminating on the kind of space and environment and conversations that were being had on here. I wanted to be open and honest. I'm open to people disagreeing with me. If I was trying to decide whether or not I should uproot my whole entire life to move to Vegas or just trying to find comfort and whether or not I made the right decision in moving to Vegas, I personally would want to see all the sides of it. So I didn't really realize that there's so many sort of like conspiracy theorists out there and just really dark views of Vegas, which, you know, it is what it is. So not gonna lie, knowing that I can't control the internet and the kinds of things that come with the internet, I was trying to decide whether or not I wanted to continue investing energy. For a hot moment there, it just looked like some of my videos were cultivating a lot of negative and dark comments, and I just didn't want to be the curator of that sort of environment. But at the same time, I'm not really for like filtering out comments unless they're just straight up derogatory, degrading, nasty. I did have to do that to a couple. I know it's just the beginning. There's only a few videos up so far. I have my own business and clients, and so you kind of just need to really protect and preserve your creative and mental energy in order to give your best work. So for that time that I stepped away, I was just focusing on my main hustles, all the while just meditating and contemplating on how I wanted to move forward with this one. And trust me, I know the internet. I just didn't know if this was something that I wanted to invest my personal time in. Honestly, what really keeps me going is that I do get messages and positive comments to offset that. At this point, like, the kind words do matter. It's not that I can't handle a mean comment. I just kind of wasn't down to curate like a nasty environment, if that makes sense, when I could be putting my energy into more productive conversations. But ultimately what I realize is that this is a lot of your guys' lives and these are big decisions that you're making. And so thank you to everyone that's been just affirming and encouraging, because that's the reason why I decided that I'm going to continue on this path and I'm going to continue investing energy into being a resource for you guys, because I truly do have a heart for where you're at. So I'll stick around. So I know this isn't the video a lot of people were waiting for, but I'm gonna get back on the schedule and on the grind because I still got a lot for you. So we'll get that going soon enough. Stay tuned. And if there's something specific that you want to see a video on, then let me know. But what I actually want to do right now, since I've just been really busy working and haven't really had the time to just sit down and respond to comments, I know there's been a lot of questions on just the few videos that I have. So I really want to take the time to be able to kind of thoroughly answer them. If I were to sit and type out a comment, I can't. It's just not in me to half-ass an answer. So I would see some comments, but it's just that I wouldn't have time to sit down and type out a long answer. So I kind of just combed through everything and decided to just answer them right now. That way anyone out there who may have the same or similar question could also maybe get some value or insight out of it. So let's begin, shall we? This one is from Jay. So Jay says, what type of parking is available if I wanted to take my car to the strip and just walk around? Is it better to just Uber? So this is a really good question, because even though a lot of locals will tell you that they'll avoid going to the strip if at all possible and at all costs, the reality is, depending on what you're into, you do end up kind of going to the strip more often than you would like to. For example, if you like watching shows and concerts, then yeah, you're gonna end up going to the strip quite a bit. If you are a VGK Fun fact, I get G's and J's confused so much just when I say it. Anyway. If you are a VGK fan, a Vegas Golden Knights fan, then you bet your dear Aunt Sally that you will be at the Strip often if you like to go to those games, because that's held at the T-Mobile Arena, which is right across the Park MGM, kind of in the New York hotel area. Other reasons why you'd go to the Strip is if you want to try out some really good food. You know, we kind of have like world-class restaurants just sitting in our backyard. Speaking of which, my team at work, we did a celebratory lunch at Hell's Kitchen, Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen. It's pretty new and it was really exciting. It's over at Caesar's Palace. So yeah, if you are a gambler, like one of my coworkers was, he actually had like a platinum card or membership or whatever, so he had free parking. Or if you just want to go to the club or walk around, I have a friend who you will see very soon, but shout out to my friend Autumn Nevada, the biggest Las Vegas, Nevada girl you will ever meet. She'll be coming through in one of these videos to help me talk to you guys about Henderson, so stay tuned for that. Autumn just moved to Kentucky, but back when she did live here, something that she really liked to do often was to just go to the Bellagio and go walk around the conservatory and just see what seasonal display the conservatory has. So what parking is available if I wanted to take my car to the Strip and just walk around? Is it better to take an Uber? I have two answers for that. If you want to go to the Strip during the day just to walk around, peruse around, I think it's usually decent enough depending on the time of year, but usually the day time is calm enough to not stress too much about parking. Back in the good old days, aka maybe 3 or 4 years ago, that's just like off the top of my head ballpark figure, parking was absolutely free, and it was ridiculous to everyone when hotels started charging. I heard a rumor that parking fees are going to be done away with soon, so please God, let that be true. I just don't want to get my hopes up too much. But I would say if you're going during the day, I think it's better to just take your car and park at a garage, but just be aware that you will have to pay a parking fee. Thankfully, it's nothing crazy like LA. Usually parking is just somewhere around like $10. Depending on the hotel. You know what, to be safe, I'm gonna say like $10 to $20, but there are a very select few hotels that still have free parking. I think Planet Hollywood is one of them. So oftentimes if people are going to a hotel in the surrounding area, then they will park at Planet Hollywood. That is given that you don't mind a little bit of a walk. During the day, my vote goes towards taking a car. In the evening, however, is a very different story. The evening is the busier times, you know, the Strip comes alive in the nighttime. But just because of the whole club and gambling and sort of party scene, it definitely and naturally just gets a lot busier at night. So I personally, if I am going to the club, I won't even mess around with driving. I'll just take an Uber. Sometimes I'll try to just park at a friend's house that lives closer since I'm kind of far. And also, you know, because you don't want to drink and drive. But even if I don't drink, I just plan to be out really late at night and don't want to be caught in the parking garage late at night, then I'll take an Uber, because it's kind of another sort of safety thing. I personally would not be too comfortable in a parking garage in Vegas super late at night. I did point that out in a response to someone else's comment, which I'll screenshot and throw up real quick. Shout out, girl. So I would Uber if you're gonna be out really late at night and it's super busy. If there is some crazy event or concert. Oh, that's another thing. If I'm going to a really big concert, that can just be really stressful to find parking and then have to walk all the way to the venue. So a lot of times, like for example, at the MGM, I'll just take an Uber and get dropped off at the venue, at the arena, versus having to walk across the hotel. I lied, I have 3 answers to this. The third answer to that is I think it would still be okay to take your car if you're just going to dinner. And it's still like early evening. I think a car is still okay, but ultimately it's going to be at your preference. I would highly suggest looking into any major events like a boxing match or a Golden Knights game happening around that time in the area that you're at, so that way you can decide from there. Ross asks, what's it like when it's not summer in Vegas? I'm looking at either Vegas or Reno. Also, Reno is getting pricey also, maybe more than Vegas. So when it's not summer in Vegas is the reason why I feel like people choose to continue living in Vegas and to withstand the summer heat, because I'm pretty sure I mentioned it in one of the other videos, but we have the absolute best transitional seasons. Winter is a toss-up. I remember last winter it really wasn't that cold. It never really got that cold, and I kind of waited for it to get freezing, but it didn't. And then right now it's still fall technically, but I'm gonna go ahead and consider it winter, because I swear last week was like in the 70s and it was real nice. Everyone was enjoying their lives, and I think it probably even hit 80s, but just out of nowhere, starting yesterday, actually, it's the end of October right now, this morning we hit like the low 30s. So everyone's real confused and scrambling for all their winter wear, and I'm just like, I was in denial the whole time, and now we're suffering. I think the news was saying that we're supposed to hit freezing point tomorrow morning, so that's great, but I'm just being a big ol' weenie because I've been to the East Coast and Midwest, and y'all have it much worse, so I'm gonna just stop myself right now before I trigger some people. How about the dating scene? Is it great for singles? That is a very good question, and one that I do not have a good answer for, because I don't really know what constitutes a place that is great for singles. I don't have a lot of dating experience. I've only been in long-term relationships that were all through like mutuals or just like through a hobby of some sort. But what I do know is that I know people that have gone through the dating scene a lot more extensively than I have. So this is actually a video that I really want to do and feature some other people that could speak more on it better than I can. So stay tuned for that. So we'll make sure to give a proper response to that. All right, Planet Drew. Planet Drew says, I was there last weekend and looked at houses with a realtor. I don't mind the heat, but boy, it really dried out my skin. It was so dry, I feel like the heat dried me from the inside out. I'm in my mid-40s, but want to remain looking like in my 20s. Will this dry heat age me fast like beef jerky? Yes. Not even gonna play. Yes, this dry heat will age you out like beef jerky. That is a very eloquent way to put it. I appreciate that. The key here is if you're from somewhere that has a lot more humidity, or you're not from somewhere that has as much of a dry heat as here, then would highly advise you to just get into the habit of moisturizing and using sunscreen. I know it's not, I know it's not really a way of life for a lot of people, but it's something that living here you do have to be a lot more conscious of. So you'll be okay. Just make sure you're taking care, not playing games with when it comes to your skincare. I know nobody really asked, but I have really dry skin naturally, and Vegas doesn't really help that, but I'm kind of just like, I'm no beauty guru or anything, but I really like using argan oil, just like pure argan oil for my moisturizer. I don't even have a regular moisturizer. And I know it's not for everyone, but I thought I'd throw that out there in case it does help anyone else. Okay, so I definitely have more questions that I picked out. For the sake of time, I don't want this video going too long. Let me know if any of this was helpful and if it's something that I should keep doing in the future, because I would love to do so. If you look through the comments, I do try to respond, and when I do give pretty hearty responses, because again, I just don't have it in me to half-ass a response. Maybe I need to fix that and just be able to kind of summarize a little bit better. But again, just when I put myself in your place, I want to make sure that I'm able to give as much information and value as possible. That's all. That's it. And I kind of talk a lot too, so I'll get around to the rest of these questions in the next round. That is if y'all want to keep seeing videos kind of like this. Also, I've noticed that some of you started following me on Instagram. Rude. No more barking. But if you do, then you notice that a lot of my content on there is geared towards digital marketing and sort of like video marketing. So if you do follow me on Instagram, then I will make sure that I start being a little bit more cognizant and intentional about including more Vegas stuff. I do share Vegas stuff, just like the other day when I was on the helicopter and I was sharing kind of the updates on the Raiders and the MSG sphere that's coming up. So I also have plans to do sort of like a Q&A session. So if you want to hang out on that arena, that social arena, then go ahead and head on over to @SunshineDelights. So for now, while you're waiting on the next videos to come up, if you want to go ahead and just catch up on all the other ones, if you're new here or maybe just haven't caught up on all the other videos, then highly encourage you to check out these two right here. And until then, talk to you later. Bye!